So why creating a World Logic Day? I've been working in logic since about 35 years in all its aspects: philosophical, mathematical, computational, and also its semiotic aspect that I like very much. We have to keep in mind that logic is not a field among other ones. In ancient Greece, human beings were characterized as logical animals, an expression transposed in Latin as rational animals. So, logic is a distinctive feature of human beings. What makes the difference between human beings and other animals? Dogs, cats, monkeys, snakes, horses, and so on. And logic is what unifies all human beings, their common feature, independently of sex, race, and cultures. So I conceive the World Logic Day not only as a celebration for promoting logic inside the academic world and to a larger public outside this academic world, but as a celebration of humanity. So, how did I hide the idea of the World Logic Day? Well, many years ago, in 2004 exactly, I was invited to give a lecture at the World Philosophy Day at the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris. There were many lectures, many people attending, all kind of people, students from universities, students from high school. It was very animated. And at the end of the day, there was a music show by Herbie Hancock. I had a very good impression of such kind of celebration, developing interaction and contact between people. It's good to remember what UNESCO is. It's an organization inside the United Nations promoting education, science, and culture. It was founded in 1945, and its first president was Julian Huxley, the brother of Aldous Huxley. There is a calendar of international days of UNESCO, each day with a specific celebration. For example, 8th March is International Women's Day. About 10 years ago, I organized a big celebration for this day with my girlfriend near Cannes in the French Riviera. And at some point, I realized that Alfred Tarski was born the same day as Kurt Gödel died, January 14. An amazing coincidence, because they are the two most famous logicians of the 20th century and eternal figures of the history of logic. So it was obvious that January 14 should be the World Logic Day. Let me explain now why I organized the first edition of the World Logic Day only in 2019. I was working at promoting logic in the world in many different ways. I organized the first World Congress and School on Universal Logic in 2005 in Montreux, Switzerland, country where I was working at this time. It was the first of a series of events named Unilog. The next one will take place in Crete, Greece. It will be the 7th edition of this series of events. I created 3 other series of events and was organizing events in many different countries in the world: India, China, Lebanon, Portugal, Brazil, Poland, the Vatican, France, United States, even in the most isolated place in the world, Easter Island. I also start to launch Logic Prize in various countries, starting with the Newton da Costa Logic Prize in Brazil. And my idea is to have a Logic Prize in every country. I created the journal Logica Universalis, the book series Studies in Universal Logic, other logical journals and book series. And I started the first Encyclopedia of Logic, a joint project with the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, of which I am the Logica Era editor. So I was busy all the time, but all these activities were a good preparation for launching the World Logic Day. So how did I create the World Logic Day? How I turned this idea into reality? There is this famous quote by Pierre Curie: faire de sa vie un rêve et de ses rêves une réalité. To turn his life into a dream and our dreams into reality. It's a very nice quote. It's important to do the right thing at the right time. So in June 2018, I was organizing the 6th edition of the Unilog, the World Congress and School on Universal Logic, in Vichy, France. It was a very big event. It was the first Logic Prize contest, World Logic Prize contest. Many interaction between people. So I think that was the right time to start to prepare the World Logic Day. I worked on that at the end of 2018. In December, I started to write to all my colleagues and friends in the world, asking them to organize a celebration in their location, in their countries. My objective was to have at least 50 celebrations in the world for the first edition of this World Logic Day, January 14, 2019. And I succeeded to have 60 celebrations all around the world in many different kinds of countries, like Russia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Croatia, Taiwan, Chile, Mexico, and so on. So it was quite a success, this first edition of the World Logic Day. Turns this idea into reality. explain how I succeeded to have the World Logic Day recognized by UNESCO. So after the first edition of the World Logic Day, January 14, 2019, I wrote a paper. First part of the paper was a report about all these 60 celebrations that took place around the world. And the second part of the paper was explanation why it was so important to have this World Logic Day. The paper was published in the journal Logica Universalis. And after that, second step was to ask for letters of support from colleagues, logicians from all over the world, and also a logical organization. I succeeded to get about 100 letters. Among these letters, I had some letters from very important logicians, like a letter from Sharon Chela, one of the most famous alive logicians from Jerusalem. So that was encouraging. After that, the first step was to go to Paris to meet the Brazilian ambassador at UNESCO. Why Brazilian ambassador? First of all, such kind of proposal has to be submitted by a country member of UNESCO. But why Brazil? I'm originally from Switzerland, but working since many years in Brazil. Then I met this Brazilian ambassador. It was a very nice meeting. She was a woman who had a lot of interest for artificial intelligence. She had organized at the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris a meeting on artificial intelligence jointly with the ambassador of Turkey and with the participation of the musician Jean-Michel Jarre. So she starts to work immediately on the proposal. I help her to write this proposal. And she submitted the proposal on October 18 to the Executive Committee of UNESCO, backed by 17 countries. Then, in November, the proposal was submitted to the General Assembly of UNESCO, General Assembly with all the members of UNESCO, about 200 countries, and it was approved at unanimity by all the members of UNESCO. So for the second edition of the World Logic Day, January 14, 2020, it was possible to organize all this celebration under the auspices of UNESCO. I again manage the organization of all this celebration in the name of the Logica Universalis Association, and it was a big success. So the third celebration of the World Logic Day took place a few days ago. It was a big success in the sense that about 100 celebrations were organized all around the world, most of them through virtual due to the pandemics. This time, the celebration was coordinated by the Collège International Philosophie des Sciences Humaines, an organism part of UNESCO, its coordinator, Benedict Clough. For this third edition, I decided to organize a World Welcome event with all my friends and colleagues that helped me to organize the two first edition of the World Logic Day, including the Brazilian ambassador of Brazil that successfully submitted the proposal to UNESCO. It was a really nice meeting, and we hope that in the future we'll have more and more World Logic Day. So what about the future of the World Logic Day? I think after three successful celebrations, we can expect more and more celebration, bright future for the World Logic Day. At some point, it would be very nice to have a big celebration at the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris. The World Logic Day already start to change the way that logic is perceived inside the academic world and also outside. And to come back to what I was saying at the beginning, I think that the World Logic Day is promoting rationality, human beings as rational animals, mutual understanding, by contrast to any kind of fanatism, religious fanatism, political fanatism, ideological fanatism. People who think they are right without any rational basis. So logic can help to turn our world in a better world, more relaxed and happiness.